So if you're trying to scale your company, you're probably interested in building out a sales team, getting better at sales, mastering scales and marketing. But the fastest way to actually grow and scale your company or your agency is not going to be getting new clients, oddly enough. It's going to be keeping the clients that you've already sold. So the less clients that churn is going to help you create more of a foundation of revenue, allowing you to reinvest in the company, build your sales team, buy better tools, buy better data. If you're spending all this time and energy acquiring a new client and that client leaves after 3 months, you have to start from square one again. It is infinitely harder to get new clients than it is to keep and retain the clients that you've already spent the hard time and energy keeping. So what we're going to go over in this video is the easiest way to retain your clients, allowing you to scale and grow your company faster.
If your fulfillment is on lock, you're reliable, your quality is consistent across the organization because you've standardized things, you're gonna keep clients longer. This is a nice segue into client retention, right? So one of the companies I work with, they outbid every other company on the market. You know, they were very innovative for their size. They were incredible, right? But they let things slip through the cracks. They took 3 weeks to do something. The next guy did, and they didn't have the regular touch points with their clients. You know, there were no thoughtful touches, and there was not the customers didn't feel heard. There was no easy way for them to get access to somebody who they knew that they could get on the other line, right? So that's what account managers are for. That's what really good account people do, is they make you feel like you have a friend in the company who's looking out for you that you can call to get insight or help from or vent to at any point if there's any issues. So make it very clear, you know, hey, I'm here if you need anything. You remind them that you're there, and you try and build a relationship with that client. And honestly, for me, like if it's a client engagement, I actually mandate weekly meeting. You don't talk to somebody for 2 weeks, you know, you're almost kind of stale, right? Like that relationship gets kind of stale.
It's like dating.
Yeah, right. I mean, so you don't see a girl for 2 months. How do you know where you're at in that relationship, right? Could you imagine not seeing your wife for like 2 weeks?
Yeah.
So
yeah, and if you don't have, if you're not at the size of business where you hire, you know, account managers and have, you know, an actual person dedicated to each account, like that's where automation tools are fantastic. Like send out, if you know your life cycle of business, right? If after 30 days, that's usually when they're seeing success, or that's when the problem occurs, like reach out to them, like, hey, just wanted to follow up, and have it come from the CEO, even though it's an automated message. But just making sure that they feel special. You don't forget about them as a customer. Understand where their birthday is, right? In your onboarding form, ask what your birthday is, right? Or ask their favorite thing. Put it down in your, you know, SOP, you know, project management solution, and have a reminder saying, you know, wish them happy birthday. When's the last time a business that you work with reached out to you on your birthday? Or like, be unique. These are people, the only way to grow a company is 3 ways. We were just talking about this, right? It's get more business, upsell your current business, or have your current business pay you longer over time. And then those will also give you referrals.
Yeah. So you either get more customers, you make them worth more with upsells, cross-sells, and downsells, or you keep them longer. That's it. There's really no other way to get more money out of a business, right? And so it got to the point where I actually, on one of my onboarding forms, I asked them what type of candy or food or, you know, sport, what's your favorite sports team, whatever. And then I would have a VA actually go on and order them something from Amazon that was whatever related to whatever their favorite thing was. And they would just check it by me, like, you know, they said they like this. Is this an okay gift? Say, yep, good to go. And we'd send it to them on their birthday, right? Now, granted, is this going to make or break your client retention? No, that's really just about getting consistent feedback, the quality of your service. So, you know, I would say regular touch points, quality of your service, you know, thoughtful gestures where you actually treat them like a human being, you build a relationship.
But also, like, say a client, like say you run a SaaS company, right? Say you have a scheduled downtime for 2 days. Do you think the customer that got a baseball hat from you when they first started started working with you is more inclined to be like understanding of the problems in your
Yeah.
business, or is the person that you've never spoken to, doesn't know you at all, and needs this software, be like, these guys are unreliable, I'm gonna go to their competitor. Like that little gesture may not show up immediately, but when it does, when you need some understanding from your customer, like that is the ammo right there. Like, oh well, yeah, Jeremy got me a baseball hat, I wore it yesterday, like let me help Jeremy, right? So those little things do go a long way, and those are some things like in an onboarding flow that you can systematize. Like, what is your birthday? What is your favorite thing? Also, like understanding your onboarding flow, that goes back into your SOP. Make sure that they're able to give you all the information that you need from them in the beginning of your business, because that is the most important part of a partnership. Very beginning, you only have one time to make a first impression. Make sure your onboarding is perfect.
Yeah, and manage expectations, right? So it's funny because I've actually had clients in the past where they had really high expectations of what results we were going to get because they'd seen all my case studies, they'd seen all my recommendations, whatever, from all these top guys, and then they thought, oh, I'm going to get like 20 transactions in month one, and in reality, there's offers really hard to sell, right? Like we're talking a project that might be worth $5 million. You're not going to get 20 opportunities just thrown in your lap effortlessly within 2 weeks. It's just nothing. And so I actually had clients that had really good results, but because they expected higher results, they were disappointed in the end, right? And I've had cases where, I didn't give them any expectations at all. And I basically said, this is going to be really hard, right? And then they got some results at all. Suddenly, it's the greatest thing ever. Oh my gosh, Jeremy, you're the best. I cannot believe how great this is.
Under promise, over deliver.
The other thing was make sure you make a point of celebrating the victories and really reminding them of the victories, and then also priming them for what it's going to be like. So the corollary to this is like, if you have a glass of wine, if it's out of a solo cup, right? I'm not kidding, and you experience it alone, it will taste significantly worse than if it's a fancy glass shared with another person. They've done studies on this. It literally tastes better to you if the container it's in is better and if you're sharing it with somebody else. And so if you can share those wins with them and really congratulate them for the success that they've gotten, that's going to help retain the client because it sticks in their mind more that there was this more significant emotional experience.
Yeah, and like understand them as a person. Like, what are your goals to reach this month, right? Or what are your goals at the end of this quarter, personally and business wise, right? So you're aligned with the greater goal that they also have. Like, we had a client who we were helping them with their side hustle, and their main goal was to be able to transition fully into their own business. That's the emotional reason why they got into business with us. It would be only fair for us to also share that same goal, and that makes us even more hands-on with them. We're also emotionally bought in because we know why they're emotionally bought in. It's not just strictly a business transaction. At that point, we're colleagues, right? We're friends. We're in the trench together as a business. So get to understand them, and then they'll also get to understand you. Like, I have clients who send me things and congratulate us on business achievements and vice versa. So you're building relationships at the end of the day.
Yeah, and one thing that's actually really valuable that I found is to give them a bonus, like to go above and beyond. Like, maybe it's something you would have done anyways, but it's not part of the actual arrangement or product or service, but you do it on top. You give them a little extra so they feel like they're getting more out of you, right? Think, for example, like when you bundle something. So info products, how many info products have you seen where it's just one thing, right? No, it's, you get this. Oh, and it comes with this too. And you get this too. And it's a free $400 value. Oh, and you get the checklist.
Perceived value.
Yeah. It's if it's more things, the perceived value is higher.
Yeah. Like, oh, they did this. They didn't even mention they were going to ever do it, but you already were anyway.
Exactly.
But it's the perception of the customer's understanding of your offer.
Yeah. And I guess to talk about upsells, downsells, cross sells. So oftentimes there's one thing that is most appealing to the market that can give you the most people coming in. And you just really have to look for any other needs that you can fulfill for those same people, right? So in my case, I released this LinkedIn course, and it's, okay, let's master LinkedIn. Like, this is everything you need to know. Kill it with LinkedIn marketing right now. And a lot of the people that are on there, they let's say they buy it and now they need a lead scraping song. Okay, here you go. Now it's sticky. picky, right? Keep your eye. Oh, maybe they need a consulting call to go through all the material because they don't know where to start. Okay, maybe they wanna get a coaching engagement too. Like they want to work with me on an ongoing basis, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they want me to actually be a fractional CMO or something, or maybe they just want the ads part of the product. They only care about that part, right? Or maybe they really just want to get their first first client, their first outreach out, right? It makes sense to look at the whole funnel. See, I see so many companies do this. They write all this blog content that's very transactional. It's like, oh, you're looking for this thing right now. Okay, here's this blog about getting this thing right now. And then they miss out on all this enormous traffic of people searching for all this stuff that's tangentially related to that. And because they think, oh, they're not looking for what we're doing right now. Yeah, but you're getting 100 times as many people in. So even if it's only 0.1% of them are actually interested, okay, that's still like 1,000 people, right? So you really, really, really want to explore upsells, downsells, and cross sells, right? Imagine if you went to a drive-through and you ordered a burger and they didn't say, oh, would you like a shake with that? Like, in what world? Do you imagine how bad McDonald's profits would be if they never asked you if you wanted fries or a shake?
Or order a shake unless you. So that's the biggest thing with upsells is like you'll never ever get that additional dollars in the door if you don't.
Rule of thumb is 10% will be willing to pay 10 times for a more.
But you wouldn't know that.
No, unless you try.
Unless you try it. And another thing I wanted to touch on in regards to like client retention. So if you just start and like our friends Jeremy or Jordan at 8F, what they did immediately and what I've also implemented in our business since working with them is like as soon as you become one of their clients, they introduce you to like 10 people inside their network, whether you need them or not. They're just creating extra conversations and business interactions with you, and that could also turn into things that you need. So I worked with Jordan, he introduced me to an SEO person. Now I hire an SEO person, right? So like creating introductions in the beginning of your partnership, because you could then also help scale their business in ways that you can't. You can help your business partners and everyone essentially wins, or refer your own friends to use the product or service of your new client.
Quick wins.
Quick wins.
Yeah. So like with my clients, a lot of times what I would do is they want leads, right? They want somebody replying back that says they want to jump on a phone call, but that's not really quick. So why is Xanax a $1 billion product and meditation? There are no $1 billion meditation companies, right? Because Xanax works really, really fast, right? And it takes very little effort to get, right? If you could meditate your way into mental peace in 10 minutes, there would be 0 people on earth that do not meditate, right?
Or use Xanax.
And there'd be, no one would use Xanax, right? So what I would wind up doing is I would do a LinkedIn connection blast on day one, just to get a huge flood of connections in. Even though it wasn't the best way in terms of a systematic approach to do it, it took a little extra effort, but because we got a quick win right off the gate, I got a lot more buy-in and I had a much better experienced relationship with them, and they had much more confidence it was going to work. So they invested more time, they worked harder, they got that quick win. And then if you give them little quick wins each step, that's how our brains give our reward. That's how the reward pathway lights up. It's quick little wins. That's why video games are so much more engaging than, let's say, building a career, because you get that little pop-up that says ding ding ding, you won every 10 seconds.